Investigations continue into the U.S. airstrike that hit Doctors Without Borders hospital in the Afghan city of Kunduz. The top U.S. general in Afghanistan says the United States would never deliberately target a medical facility. General John Campbell also told the Senate committee Tuesday he thinks the current plan to reduce U.S. forces in Afghanistan should be revised. VOA Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb has more.
The deadly airstrike in the Afghan city of Kunduz mistakenly hit the Doctors Without Borders hospital. That's what the top U.S. general in Afghanistan told a Senate committee Tuesday.
The decision to provide aerial fires was a U.S. decision made within the U.S. chain of command. A hospital was mistakenly struck. We would never intentionally target a protected medical facility.
The strike was in response to an Afghan request for U.S. air support after Afghan security forces came under heavy Taliban fire. The security forces continue to battle pockets of Taliban fighters within the city. To prevent incidents like this deadly strike, General Campbell has directed forces he commands to conduct in-depth training to review operational authorities and rules of engagement. The task will be easier with Afghanistan's current leadership, according to some analysts.
The United States knows that there's not going to be a huge protest and all types of angry statements coming from Kabul, and I think that lower temperature will allow the U.S. and Afghanistan to work a bit more closely, cooperate a bit more closely to ensure this type of thing doesn't happen again.
The Taliban's surprise, though brief, takeover of Kunduz has forced Afghanistan back into the spotlight. After repeated objections by many U.S. lawmakers, President Obama has agreed to reassess the drawdown timetable, which currently would remove all but a few U.S. soldiers by the end of 2016.
I do believe that we have to provide our senior leadership options different than the current plan that we're going with. Absolutely.
Afghanistan has called for U.S. troops to extend their stay. General Campbell warns the current drawdown would diminish U.S. counterterrorism capabilities and training operations.
But now for the latest developments, Carla Babb joins us live via Skype from the Pentagon. Carla, the MSF does not seem to be very keen on a U.S. investigation. Can you tell us more about their proposition?
No, Doctors Without Borders were very vocal today. They want to have what they call an International Humanitarian Fact-Finding Commission. This is something that is within the Geneva Conventions. It was actually invented in the 1970s, but it's never been activated before. And so they are calling for this to be activated for the first time to have an independent investigation.
What are officials saying? Will they cooperate if this is implemented indeed?
Well, General Campbell has stressed that he would cooperate. The United States and NATO would cooperate with an independent investigation. But in the meantime, there are already 3 investigations underway. Let's not forget that the Afghan government is conducting an investigation, NATO is conducting an investigation, and the United States.
But it's clear here, I mean, there's an acknowledgement that a mistake was made. I mean, the issue is whether, as MSF claims, this was a deliberate targeting of this hospital. Do you get the sense that that is what MSF is insisting on?
Well, MSF, the important thing for Doctors Without Borders is that some accountability has to be made because doctors in this organization are putting their lives on the line, and they feel that this has to be taken care of without a pass, without a blank check, as one of their spokespeople said today, because they said if no one is held accountable, who is going to protect these doctors in these areas doing this valuable work? And the United States and the Pentagon says that this is very valuable work. So they want to make sure that their humanitarian efforts are controlled and taken care of so situations like this will not happen again. As for the Pentagon, they are calling it a tragic mistake. I was talking to Captain Jeff Davis, who is a spokesperson here, and that is exactly how he characterized it today. He says that this is something that they deeply regret and that they are going to get to the bottom of it to find out what went wrong and make sure that something like this does not happen again.
So, meantime, it looks like it will call for a kind of adjustment in the way information is transferred between the command and those who are executing the orders.
Yes, General Campbell has said that everyone under his command is going to be conducting training immediately to go through the rules of engagement, and they are trying to get the results to these investigations as soon as possible. The NATO investigation, we're supposed to be seeing results from that in the next few days. The United States investigation, that's what we call in Pentagon speak a 15-6. That's much more detailed, and that will take a little bit more time.
And the other side of this is that actually the U.S. is not opposed to this Doctors Without Borders proposal for an independent investigation, right?
Well, the United States hasn't said anything either way. The United States is very proud of its investigations. The Pentagon was saying today that their investigations are conducted accurately, that they're not trying to hide anything, they're trying to be completely transparent. But people in the halls here, they do understand how Doctors Without Borders feels, because if the Afghan government or the United States government or NATO was at fault, it's kind of a conflict of interest for them to be conducting the investigation in the eyes of Doctors Without Borders. So there's not any calls that an independent investigation absolutely should not happen. It's not like that. It's we are going to cooperate either way, but we trust our investigations.
Carla, thank you very much for your reporting.
Thank you.
Carla Babb, VOA Pentagon correspondent, reporting live via Skype from the Pentagon.